So after years of speculation and questioning on whether the thing was actually ever going to be real in the first place, the FNAF movie has finally released. Well, not finally, as in, not the day of the recording of this video or the publishing of this video, but it is finally out, and I have been lucky enough to go and see it on the day it actually came out, which was the 25th of October here in the UK, and I'm here to talk about my general thoughts and opinions on this movie because, oh boy, do I have quite a lot to say. This video has absolutely no script whatsoever, which is completely different from pretty much all the other videos on my channel, so I might be rambling at points, right? But I guess that's where you can really get the true raw feelings and emotions on this movie. So I feel like this was probably the best way to do this, but if I'm rambling, I apologize. Alright, so let's actually get to talking about the movie. Okay, so to start things off, I think that the visuals and the way everything looks in this film, the way everything was shot, all the sets and everything look absolutely amazing. And I think the actual pizzeria look of the location was done absolutely fantastically and was adapted so well to the movie, where everything makes sense and there's... oh, it's so good. I think it looks absolutely amazing. And to know that that location isn't at all any CGI or anything like that, that is literally just a complete set and everything like that, it's absolutely so amazing. And I was absolutely blown away seeing it in the movie, along with the other locations, such as obviously you've got like the food court right at the beginning of the movie, and all sorts. Like, everything looks absolutely amazing. And along with that, the animatronics, I know that we've obviously seen them for a very, very long time, considering all the teasers and all the trailers that we've seen of the movie, but they do look absolutely fantastic, and they are literally one-for-one replicas of the original cast from the first FNAF game. And I think, I can't lie, I probably need to do some research, and maybe I'll have it on screen now, but whoever made these animatronics, they really do know their attention to detail, and they have done an absolutely blinding job recreating these iconic looking characters for this movie, and I have to give them huge props because I love them. I absolutely love them so much. But anyways, let's here to talk about actual more of movie stuff relating to the story and everything like that. So, big spoiler warning from this point onwards. I am going to be talking about the story and the way everything plays out, along with maybe some possible theories. Okay, so obviously the movie follows our main protagonist, Mike Schmidt, and obviously, gets the Freddy's job to be the security guard from a extremely suspicious man, who just so happens to know about the location, and just a little bit dodgy. And of course, the whole thing goes along, and then he is having these dreams where he's able to trying to figure out what happened to his brother who was kidnapped, and it's like dream theory or something in the book. That he's mentioned some guy right at the very beginning, and he keeps revisiting this dream over and over and over again to try and figure out who had kidnapped his younger brother. And it just so turns out that eventually the spirits that possess all of the animatronics in the film turn up in these dreams, and they communicate to him through that. And I think these sequences are really cool, and there's one sequence especially where he starts chasing after one of them, which is the spirit that possesses Foxy, and he eventually turns around and claws his arm, and that's when his eyes go black, and there's like some weird like gunk stuff coming out of his eyes, and that was quite surprising. That was quite shocking. And then obviously the cut on his arm actually still remains. And then obviously we're introduced to Vanessa, who is the police officer and everything like that, who is strangely and suspiciously, seems to have absolutely no questions about why Mike's arm was just bleeding out of nowhere. But obviously, as the story progresses, obviously you find out about how they are obviously possessing the animatronic suits, and how the murderer was obviously William Afton, as literally every single FNAF fan ever should know. And then obviously there's the big bombshell right at the end of the film, well, not right at the end, but right near the end of the film, within the final sequences, that obviously Vanessa is actually the daughter of William Afton, and that's why she didn't question anything, and she was fully aware of the animatronics, and that they were possessed and all sorts. And I feel like, is this, like, I might be completely out of the loop here, but I feel like that this is new, like a new lore drop, because from what I'm aware, once again, I'm still not entirely entwined with my sort of like FNAF lore, but I'm pretty certain that we're aware that they were acquainted in some sort of way, William and Vanessa. But I had absolutely no idea. I feel like this is new. I feel like this is new lore that's just been dropped on us. But I could be completely behind on that. But anyways, obviously that whole thing comes around. I think that was quite surprising. I was not at all expecting that. And then there's the sequence where the animatronics are being controlled by William, and that's why they've been killing people, which, oh my god, I don't know how I've actually forgot to mention this, but some of the deaths in this film are just absolutely brutal. I mean, the standout one for me is, I forgot the name of the character, but basically, they're trying to screw over Mike and, like, just, like, ruin the Freddy's location so he gets fired. And then Abby, who is his sister, he loses custody of her, and it goes to the mother instead, or stepmother, or... I can't lie. Like I said, one take off the rip. Can't remember entirely. But... And obviously, you know, they messed around with the wrong place, let's say. And obviously, one of the people gets lured by the spirit of Freddy to the Freddy suit and gets picked up, dragged in and chomped, and you see it in the shadow and you're like, oh my god, and then you actually see the scene of her legs just on the floor after being chomped in half. That was absolutely brutal. Also, not to mention the first scene of the movie where the original security guard gets absolutely done over by Foxy, and you hear the da-da-dums. He does the singing thing he does in the first game. That was so cool, and immediately I was like, it's Foxy. You know, you know who it is. Oh, it was so good. And then that death was brutal when he gets strapped into the chair, and then obviously, well, the movie equivalent of being stuffed into the suit, which is absolutely brutal in the way it just cuts away as you can hear him screaming. Oh, that was another amazing part of the film. I really liked that. Chica's cupcake, it was an absolute menace in this film. He was stacking bodies like no one's business, right? Chica's cupcake on the op block was taking names and literally just, you know, just didn't care. Was absolutely annihilating everyone. That was another huge highlight of the film for me. I really enjoyed that, and just everything. I feel like it was just, I really enjoyed the way it was done. I understand. I've seen a lot of criticism about the story, and some people said, "Oh, more lore, we need more lore in the film. Why didn't they put more lore?" You've got to understand, right? The film is, yes, it's like 2 hours. I think it's slightly over 2 hours. They're obviously making this film for people who are also, like, as much as they're trying to appeal to fans of the series, they're also trying to maybe bring in new fans of the series who still have no interest, who had no interest in it prior, but because of the film might try and get into it and understand it. You do realize that if they crammed absolutely so much lore into just over 2 hour film, they're just going to absolutely alienate absolutely anyone else who wasn't already a fan, which I'm sure was absolutely not what they wanted to do. And I feel like that they are thinking way too far ahead. I mean, I feel like it would have become even more convoluted if they just crammed absolutely as much as they could into there, and it just wouldn't have worked whatsoever. So for everyone saying that more lore, I really think you need to understand that it's just not entirely how it works. You do realize that the lore that we've been given has been given to us over how long? The franchise has been out for 9 years now. And you think, like, a majority of that is just going to be stuffed into a 2 hour film. It's not going to happen. I feel like it's done a very, very good job at telling the story that we know. Like, the base story of the kids being kidnapped and murdered by William, and William being spring-locked, which, oh my god. That spring-lock scene, as soon as I saw it, because there's one scene where there's another suit, which is suspiciously strange. I mean, you look at it, and I've spoken to someone about this before, and they reckon it's the circus baby suit, which could be very, very interesting, because it doesn't look like any other suit we've seen before. But Vanessa mentions it's a spring-lock suit, and as soon as I saw that, I could see the foreshadowing, and I immediately knew that spring-lock scene was coming. And oh my god, did it live up to expectations. Let me just say, that whole end sequence was acted perfectly by William. That was absolutely amazing. I think he done a great job. And the only complaint I can really give is I really wish that he had more screen time, because he only really appears right at the very beginning and right at the very end of the film. I wish that he would popped up here and there and posed more of a threat throughout, but still done an absolutely blinding job, and I'm so happy with it, and I think that is absolutely amazing. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I've yet to mention. Obviously, extremely brutal death scenes. I'm pretty sure that the story, I think the story done a good job at being concise as possible, and still allowing space for newcomers to come and enjoy the film, and not just appealing completely to die-hard fans, which is what I think some people were expecting, and obviously that's just not going to happen, and I think some people really need to understand that. And also, along with that, I'm pretty sure that they've licensed out a load of these people for like 2 to 3 films. So there are going to be sequels or possibly even prequels, depending on how far they want to go back about the bites and everything like that. So there will definitely be more to it. And obviously, I always come back. The way it ended, it just lines itself up for a sequel. For the whole Fazbear's Fright and Springtrap, it lines itself up perfectly. And also, obviously, all the spirits are yet to have their happiest day. So, of course, they can't just end it there and never go on forwards. That will obviously ultimately be the end of the trilogy or whatever they decide to do with it entirely. But overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I think they've done it so well. And I was so happy with it. I mean, even just seeing that, some of the guest people that appeared as well. When MatPat appeared on screen, it took me a second, but oh my god, I was like, it's MatPat! Oh, it's so cool that they got him in the film as well. And oh no, I really, really enjoyed this film. And then yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing. I personally really enjoyed it, and I'd be more than happy to go and watch it again. And something that I have actually been interested in, I said about theories, like, well, I don't know, probably a long time ago now, but theories, you see the Golden Freddy suit appear right when they're trying to kill Abby to become one of them and possess one of the suits and springlock her in that strange circus baby looking suit. Who is possessing, because obviously there are 5, pretty sure there are 5 spirits that appear in Mike's dreams. But we don't know which one is possessing Golden Freddy, because there's the one that, you know, there's the kid that speaks, and I guess it would make sense for him to be possessing the suit, but I could have sworn that he's always around when the original Freddy's there. So what is going on with Golden Freddy? Because he just appears for like a very brief amount of time, and then completely disappears. I'm sure all will be, our questions will be answered in the future. Maybe I'm missing something here. Please let me know what you think about this, because I'm not sure. I was having a good discussion with someone about this before. It's very interesting to see where this all lines up, because there's still some questions, and I'm really, really am just looking forward to how this progresses, and the fact that there probably is more to come. It's going to be great. Well, that was my I'd say review, but it's more of like a run, and but I feel like this, like I said, this is probably the best way to get it out for me personally. Yeah, so let me know what you think about the movie in the comments. Am I right? Well, actually, then again, no one's opinion is necessarily right or wrong, you know what I mean? Who's to say someone is supposed to enjoy it or not like it? Well, let me know what you thought of the movie in the comments. Well, that's all for me today then. Have a good day, evening or night, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.